alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi everyone, nice to meet you all. Today inshallah we will start in planet Earth. We will divide this chapter into two main parts. You will find the link of the other part, air and water pollution. You will find it in the description box. At first we will start together in our part today, planet Earth. Planet Earth, we will start directly together to know that in our Earth we have different cycles of gas. The main and important cycle is water cycle. Water cycle, it is one of the most important cycles. I'm sure that you studied it before. In the case of water cycle, we start our cycle from the sunlight. At first, all of us know that the sunlight is the main source of energy in our Earth. And it is one of the most important sources of energy, renewable resources of energy in our Earth. At first, the sunlight starts to make heating for water. So we will start to heat water in lakes and heat water in case of oceans and seas and so on. By heating water, the water will start to turn into water vapor. By having water vapor, we will make evaporation. By making evaporation, the water vapor will start to produce into the sky. The sky is colder than the earth, so we will make condensation for water vapor. By making condensation of water vapor, we will start to have clouds. Clouds will start to move from place to another place by the effect of wind, and at a specific place we will have high level or high weight of our clouds, and we will start to have rain again. The rain will start to make redistribution of water on the surface of the earth. We will start to redistribute the water again into the case of rivers, streams, and so. So it is the main points in the water cycle. The second type of cycle is carbon dioxide cycle. Carbon dioxide cycle, we have main sources of carbon dioxide on the earth. At first we have humans. Humans respiration, animal respiration, and plants respiration produce carbon dioxide. So we have animals, plants respiration, humans respiration, and burning fossil fuels for generating energy. All of these can produce carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will evaporate in the atmosphere. By evaporating carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, the carbon dioxide will be reused in photosynthesis process. By reusing carbon dioxide in photosynthesis process, we will convert the carbon dioxide into oxygen. And of course, we have fossil fuels, and dead animals and dead organisms are buried and converted by time into carbon compounds. All of these carbon compounds are burned in fossil fuels and produce carbon dioxide, and so the cycle is continuous and completed. The third type of cycle, we have oxygen cycle. Oxygen cycle is very simple cycle. We started it by producing oxygen from photosynthesis process of plants. As plants can convert carbon dioxide and water in the case of sunlight into glucose plus oxygen. So we just convert carbon dioxide and water by using of sunlight as source of energy. We will have oxygen gas and water droplets. So it is atmospheric oxygen. Atmospheric oxygen will be reused again by plants in the respiration process and by animals and humans in the respiration process. So we will start to have again consuming for oxygen, and so they will produce carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide will reused in photosynthesis process, and so okay. The last type of cycles is nitrogen cycles. At first, you must know that nitrogen concentration in the air is very high concentration. The concentration of nitrogen in the air is 78%. Also, we have very high concentration of nitrogen in air, but our nitrogen gas is unreactive. Why nitrogen is unreactive? Because we have nitrogen atom attached by triple bond with another nitrogen atom. So to break the triple bond between the two nitrogen atoms, we need to add very large amount of energy. So we will start to add very large amount of heat or very large amount of energy to break the triple bond between the nitrogen atoms. This amount of energy can be produced from thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning produce energy enough to break the bond in nitrogen gas. By breaking the bonds and the reaction between nitrogen and oxygen in the air, we will have nitrogen oxides. Nitrogen oxides will be used by some bacteria responsible for making nitrogen fixing in the soil. So they will start to make fixing for nitrogen and form ammonia compounds. Ammonia compounds are used by another type of bacteria to form nitrites and nitrates compounds, and all of these ammonia compounds. So nitrates and nitrites compounds are used by plants because plants need large amounts of ammonia compounds in their growth. So they are using nitrogen compounds for making the growth process. We have also denitrification bacteria. Denitrification bacteria, they are bacteria responsible for breaking ammonia compounds again and converted it into nitrogen gas again. So they will convert it again into nitrogen gas. Take care. Plants, most of plants are unable to make direct nitrogen fixation. They are unable to absorb nitrogen gas from air and use it directly in their growth process. So in most cases, we need to add fertilizers. Fertilizers are rich in nitrogen compounds, and the plants will use fertilizers and nitrogen compounds from the soil, and they will use it for their growth. So take care, most of plants are unable to make nitrogen fixation, except some types of plants which are capable of making nitrogen fixation by a specific type of bacteria, nitrification bacteria. They are at most beans plants. Okay, now we will transfer energy resources. We have different types of energy resources in our daily life. They are separated into three main types. At first, renewable resources of energy, non-renewable resources of energy, and potential renewable resources of energy. We will start with the first one, renewable energy. Renewable energy are resources of energy which will never run out. which will never be consumed, which are inexhaustible, like biomass. Biomass are energy produced from plants and animals, so they are renewable resources of energy, like, for example, tide and waves energy. Tide and waves energy are renewable resources of energy. We can use it to generate energy. Solar energy is one of the most important resources of energy. We have water energy. Waterfalls energy are used to generate electricity. Geothermal energy and wind energy. All of these are renewable resources of energy. We have another type of resources of energy which are mainly used daily. They are the mainly used resources of energy in our daily life. They are what? They are non-renewable resources of energy. Non-renewable resources of energy, they are resources of energy exists in a fixed amounts, used up faster than they are being formed. So by time they will be consumed. By time we will use it forever. Like, for example, coal, like, for example, oil. Metals and non-metals are non-renewable resources of energy, and natural gas. All of these are non-renewable resources of energy. They will be consumed with time. The last type of resources of energy, potentially renewable resources of energy. Potentially renewable resources of energy can be renewed, can be reused. If we use it more quickly than they are produced, they will run out. Like, for example, forests, animals. If we start to kill animals on a large scale, by time they will disappear. If we start to cut plants on large scale, by time we will use it forever. So they can be called potential resources of energy. Like what? Forests, crops, and agriculture crops, and sewage. Sewage are used as source of energy in some places. We have industrial residues. We have animal resources. They are very important. And some solid wastes, we can recycle it. We can reuse it. So we have three main types of resources of energy. The next one, composition of our air. Our air consists mainly of nitrogen. So the main composition of air, 78% is nitrogen. We have oxygen gas, its percentage 20.9. We can write it 21 approximately. We have also argon gases. Argon gases are noble gases, 0.9%. We have other gases, 0.17. We have carbon dioxide, 0.03%. You must know the uses of the following gases. Which gases we want to know its uses? At first, we must know the use of nitrogen gas, the use of oxygen gas, and at last the use of noble gases like argon gas. At first, nitrogen gas is mainly used in Haber process. So nitrogen gas, Na2, is mainly used in Haber process for making fertilizers, ammonia fertilizers. It's used for cryogenics. Cryogenics, it is the science of storing living tissues at very low temperature. Why we use nitrogen? Because the boiling point of nitrogen is minus 196. So we are talking about very cold gas. We can use it for keeping the living tissues or storing the living tissues at very low temperature. Nitrogen is unreactive gas. We said it before. The bond between two nitrogen atoms is triple bond. 1, 2, 3. So we have strong triple bond. To start chemical reaction, we want to break the triple bond. Nitrogen gas is unreactive, used to keep air away in packaging process, in filling bags as food, chips, and grains. Why? Because if we have oxygen, oxygen will damage your food. So we need to use in gas. A gas is unreactive, so we will use nitrogen gas because it protects food from getting crushed or go rancid as a result of activity of oxygen. Now we will start to transfer to the uses of oxygen. Oxygen are used for producing steel from cast iron in blast furnace. In blast furnace, at first we will have iron. Cast iron. Cast iron contains very large concentration or high concentration of carbon. We want to remove excessive carbon. We will remove excessive carbon by reacting it with oxygen. By reacting carbon with oxygen, it will form carbon dioxide gas. Carbon dioxide gas will be removed and we will have steel by adding another metals to form the alloy. Another use for oxygen for making oxyacetylene. Oxyacetylene torches are used for cutting metals. As we start to cut metals, we need to have very high temperature. To have very high temperature, we mix oxygen and acetylene in oxygen torches. It's used in hospitals to help persons or sick persons by having oxygen cylinders. So oxygen cylinders are used to help sick persons, the persons which have breathing difficulties. At last we have argon. Argon is noble gas. Of course, it's used for filling the lamp's bulb. For filling the lamps or light bulb to prevent the tungsten from burning. We want to prevent the tungsten filament from burning, from losing it away. So we use argon. Another noble gas, we use neon for making advertising lamps, as neon can have different colors, so we can use it directly for making the lamps for advertising. At last, we will start to study the fractional distillation of air. We say that air consists of mixture of gases. We want to separate different types of gases to use it in our industry, to use it in the uses of nitrogen and oxygen. How we can make separation of gas? We can make separation of gas by using fractional distillation. In fractional distillation, at first we will make liquefaction for air at -200 Celsius. So we will have the atmospheric air and we will start to make cooling up to -200. By making a lot of cooling, we will start to make gradually warming for the air. By making gradual warming, we will make fractional distillation. We will make separation for our gases into 3 different types. What are the types of gases? At first, we will have the nitrogen gas. Why at first we have the nitrogen gas? Because it is the colder one. It is the coldest one. Nitrogen gas boiling point is -190 6. So at minus 196 we will have nitrogen gas, which is used in Haber process for making fertilizers. By extra warming we will have argon gas. Argon gas, its boiling point minus 186. So its boiling point is higher than the boiling point of the nitrogen gas. So we will separate it in the second process. We used it in filling light bulbs. We have oxygen gas, its boiling point minus 183, which is used for making or forming steel from the metals in blast furnace. So we use that for making steels. It is the steps for making fractional distillation of air. Now we have finished our part in the planet Earth. In the next session we will start in air pollution. Don't forget, you will find the link for air pollution, air and water pollution in the description box. Don't forget to make like and share for our video. Share it with your friends, and we are waiting to make subscribe to have any new video. Thanks for watching. See you later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.